And if those threads are not appreciated, if those values are not appreciated, then the words just become a well-guarded piece of paper. Because the values of America have to be maintained. What are the values that are important to you that a constitutional, appreciating person should have? How about character, industry, thrift, family values, courage, integrity? Wouldn't those be things that you would want to have your congressman to possess? Not just to talk about. Or we could say we want a show horse or a workhorse. We can have talk or we can have do. And I present to you a life of service in Arizona. I'm 57 years old. I see a light in the tunnel, and it's not the illumination pattern on the fountain of youth. It's age coming at me. And I have 7 children. Among one is right here, and he's aiming a camera at me, so be careful with that thing. And then my wife, Donetta. We have 7 children, and almost 7 now grandchildren. And when we look at those grandchildren, and we see the incredible profligacy of a government that's run amok, and the impression and the debt and the difficulty that will place on our children, that makes us want to stand back up and fight. I'm the only one in this particular company that has legislative experience. I have served in the legislature through the 90s up to 2001. I've worked in private industry since then, representing 7,000 to 10,000 blue-collar working Arizonans in the sand and gravel industry, where my father taught us boys with a shovel early on in life. And so I have that other little part of my resume. I'm the bald Eagle Scout with 4 Eagle Scout sons, and we've worked in scouting, my wife and I, for over 30 years. In this club, and I've been on a border commission, I've been on the Arizona Sonora Commission, on the Governor's Water Commission, had a broad breadth of experience across Arizona and its policy making. But most of all, I'm a father. I would invite your review. Please go to rustycountry.com. That tells a little bit about me. It tells about what I've done as a legislator, so you can know that you never have to worry whether Rusty Bowers will be pro-life, because I am. You'll never have to worry about me being pro-Second Amendment, because I was one of the guys that brought you concealed carry, and now we've got even constitutional carry. So now my kids can pack. And you'll never have to worry whether I'm pro-private property rights or pro-states' rights, because I have a record that shows it. You'll never have to worry whether I love the Constitution, and whether at times I've had to make very difficult choices, standing on a principle rather than on a political perspective. And I'm very grateful to be here, part of a great group of people, and I'd like to present those thoughts to you and those attributes in my little resume for your review, because you're making a very, very important choice. And I thank you so much, and thank you, Jan, for letting us come today. Probably the rest. Let's talk about the bill itself. First, it has guaranteed issue. That means at any time that you want to buy insurance, you can. It's like saying, my house is on fire, I'm going to go buy fire insurance, and I'll be paid for. Now, is there an inherent value that's not being appreciated there? The value of fairness? Then you have the community ratings. Community ratings are, right now, depending on my lifestyle, the habits that I have, age, size, various aspects of my habits, that I have a rating that an insurance company, because it's a risk that they're taking and guaranteeing to me. But those ratings will all go away. There'll be 3. Your age, whether you smoke tobacco, and your geographical location. The young people will be forced to pay more. The older people will be forced or will be allowed to pay less. Young people who can least afford insurance, in many cases, will go bare, because the costs will go up 35% initially. So my son, young families who are right now struggle to do that, to even pay for health insurance, will go without health insurance until they need it. Then they can sign up. So we say, well, they can't do that. I mean, that inherently is unsupportable. So then we have fines. But the fine starts out at $95 a month and goes to $600. That's a year. That's the fine per year. And so when you're having to pay $700 a month for insurance now, it's still cheaper to go bare and pay the fine. So it's unsupportable. I would disagree that it's not thought out, because I think it was thought out. Yes. And I think that it's aimed at forcing us towards a single-payer system where every other person that wants to compete with them will be out of the game, will be out of the picture, and that we'll ultimately back on a socialist system with the government being our all-wise, taken care of master. So I'm against it. Thank you. And a strict appraisal of every department, of every action of the government, and making sure that it is one and covered by one of the enumerated powers would be a great way to initially evaluate what needs to come and what needs to go. When you have the bloated, as we've all said and as we all agree, the bloated oligarchy basically that we've developed and these massive departments, the structure will not correct itself unless a group of elected individuals can form as a block, be the leverage vote to stop the not only earmarks but the appropriations process in the House. It will not stop until it crashes. Look at the opportunity we have here in Arizona. When I was in the legislature, I was the appropriations chairman, and we balanced our budget. We left that for a young lady named Janet Napolitano. And she took 3 or 4 rhinos, I'll call them Republicans in name only, teamed those up with her Democrats, and ran through a budget that has put us in a huge hole. But now that we've crashed, it has given an opportunity to cut. We haven't crashed at the federal level because they can print. But ultimately, someone will not loan us the money. There will not be a backing. Now, do we want to wait for that? No. So, because when that happens, there's going to be a big stop. It's going to be a big crash. And frankly, that may be the only way to stop the profligacy. But in the meantime, reappraise and absolutely cut the corruption of earmarking out of government, because that is so corrupting and adds so much to our total bill. So those are things that I would focus on.